Hello everybody and welcome back to another Weather Guy video on Winter Storm Scott. Today's video is going to be on the Northeast. There's a lot going on with this storm in the Northeast. It has already pretty much moved out of the Midwest. And tonight is the big night. A lot of snow and a lot of cancellations on a lot of different events tomorrow. Schools. I haven't heard of any states of emergencies yet, but I am expecting those to come in probably late afternoon. It's just the timing of this storm is crucial to what is happening, because it's not dumping like your foot of snow in like overnight. It's not that type of storm. It's going to dump a good 6 to 10 inches on the I-95 corridor, and it's going to dump that 6 to 10 inches of snow overnight and ending in the middle of your morning rush hour, which is crucial to cancellations and really any state of emergency. So let's get right on into it. So let's start with Tropical Tidbits. So I'm going to zoom in on the Northeast. Here's just what's going to happen. Here's the snow and where it's going to hit first. So right about now, it's going to start raining in D.C. It's going to start snowing in southern Pennsylvania. And it's going to take a while before it gets into New York, Boston, Portland. It's going to take a while. So as we click through here, Philadelphia, you're probably going to start as rain and then change over to snow, possibly. As we keep clicking along, you can see that there is a changeover. DC, you are now in sleet. Now let's keep on clicking along. Philadelphia, you're almost in the snow. New York, and this is at 17. This is at 5 p.m. Right? So this is at the beginning of your evening rush hour. It's snowing in New York. It's heavily snowing in the Philadelphia area. DC, you're back to rain. We keep clicking along. All the heavy snow starts to get into New Jersey and Pennsylvania, heading into New York. Bridgeport, you start snow at around 7 p.m. And as we keep clicking along, 8 p.m., Hartford and Albany, you guys start getting into the snow. New York, you're getting into your heavier snow amounts. Philadelphia, you're in full snow mode. 9 p.m., Boston and Providence, you are now in the snow. Philadelphia, starting to flirt with freezing rain and sleet again. New York, you pass through wave 1 of the heavy snow. Starts to move into Bridgeport. Now we're in 10 p.m. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, you're in the snow. Wave 2 of the heavy snow starts moving its way into New York. This is the main wave of heavy snow. 11. Now that second wave starts moving into Fairfield County, New Haven County, and Connecticut. Now there's a huge area of heavy snow in southern New York and southwestern Connecticut, and a little bit in northeastern Jersey. And Providence starts to get into some moderate to heavy snow. Portland, you are also starting your snow. Then we continue to come on along. Boston, Providence, Hartford, Bridgeport, you're in the heavy snow. Then we keep moving along. New York, you're basically done. Long Island is now in sleet. Philadelphia, you ended off as rain, but now comes in all the cold temperatures. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Boston and Providence still dealing with some heavy snow. That's where we're really going to see our heaviest snow totals, like maybe upwards, like 9-10 inches of snow. Everywhere else, like New York, is going to see 6 to 7 inches of snow. Long Island, 6 to 7 inches of snow. Northern Jersey, 6 to 7. Most of eastern Pennsylvania, down into the Appalachians, whatever you want to call them, 6 to 7 inches. Connecticut, you can see 7 to 8 mostly. Then, if you get into like southeastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, and not the Cape exactly, but in between the Cape and Boston, that's where you're going to see your 9-10 inches of snow. You could even see 11 locally in localized areas. Now we keep moving forward. New York, you're just getting flurries at this point. Same thing with Bridgeport. Boston and Providence, you're still dealing with your heavy snow. Portland starts to get into the moderate snow. Now, this is at 4 a.m. on Monday. It's out of New York. It's ending in Bridgeport and Hartford. Providence, you're basically out of your heavy snow. Boston, you're still dealing with the heavy snow. Portland, you're just getting started with your heavy snow. 5 a.m. Boston and Providence basically wrapped up with your heavy snow. Even in Providence, you are done with most of your snow. Just some snow showers back in Connecticut and western Massachusetts. Then as we keep going here, Portland, you get your heaviest part of the snow. Boston starts wrapping up. This is at 6 a.m. 7 a.m., it just moves into eastern Maine, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. Then that's at 7, right? Okay. 8, you really start to get really heavy snow in eastern Maine and New Brunswick. Nova Scotia, you're basically turned over to sleet at this point. Then it starts just to move off the coast. And during the day, Monday, you could see some snow still, but very light as it moves off. You might see a wraparound band or two. There is going to be strong winds bringing in some really cold temperatures into the area. You could see a lot of lake effect snow. So let's go back here and let's talk about our temperatures. Because this is really going to play a crucial role in if you're going to see the fluffy snow that's easy to shovel or the heavy snow that is just a pain to shovel. For those of you that don't have a snowblower out there, this is definitely a snowblower type storm, but if you don't, looking out. You could also call this your weather explained for nor'easters, and I'm going to use this as an example. So a nor'easter is when, look at this L right here, right? It's in the southern areas of the United States, and it's going to move east, right? We talked about this line of thunderstorms. Usually, these storms generate a lot of energy. Then it moves off the coast. You can see it moved off the coast of North Carolina. Then it's going to move north. It's going to move north and east. Nor'easter. You just take out the T and H in north, and then you have northeaster, nor'easter, because that's how it moves. So it wraps around all this snow. This isn't the best example, but I'm working with it. It wraps around all this snow, and you have 3 tracks for nor'easters. You have one that goes way off the coast, and that really impacts the Cape of Massachusetts and eastern New England. So New York, you're barely getting any snow. Philadelphia and D.C., barely any snow. It's really a Boston and Portland event. Then you have the one that this is taking. This is the most impactful type of nor'easter. Just off the coast, you can see sometimes the Cape turns over to rain, but this is going to impact all of your major East Coast cities. Portland, Boston, Providence, Hartford, Bridgeport, New York, Philadelphia, and D.C. D.C. only depends on where it goes off the coast and your temperatures. And even with the cross-country snowstorm that we saw, it can impact the Midwest. And then you have the inland route. That brings rain to the I-95 corridor and snow inland. So you see like Buffalo, Syracuse getting a bunch of snow, and it brings in all this Atlantic moisture. You get plummeted with snow, but the I-95 corridor is free of snow. The I-95 corridor is so key in predicting these storms because millions of people live along the I-95 corridor in the Northeast. You have so many cities. You have the huge ones, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and D.C., but you also have smaller ones, Bridgeport, Providence, Portsmouth, Portland. I mean, you have a lot of people living in this area, and it's a huge connector of the states. It goes from Maine to Florida. It is a huge area that it covers. And there's a lot of commerce, a lot of businesses on that I-95 corridor because there's a lot of cities there and a lot of population. And if it's snowing there, people are much less likely to drive. And that basically shuts down the economy of the I-95 corridor. So these storms don't just have an impact on school closures, how hard is it to get to work. It also has an impact on these businesses along the I-95 corridor because when it's snowing or even raining in that fact, you're not going to go stop off at a rest stop and grab some Dunkin' Donuts. That just doesn't make sense. You're just going to focus on the road. You're only going to stop if you got to use the can. So that really limits the businesses. So that's why these things are so just deadly to the economy. And we saw last year four nor'easters in a row. All of them had significant impacts. And we saw all three types of nor'easters last year. Winter Storm Riley, the inland. Quinn was the Goldilocks track, I like to call it. And Skylar was the out to sea track. So there's your weather explained for nor'easters. Let's look at our snow totals. It has been upgraded, guys. I knew that this was going to happen. It was upgraded. Even the Weather Channel is still predicting more than this. You have 7 to 9 in eastern Maine, 7 to 8 inches in Boston, 7 inches in Bridgeport, 6 to 7 inches in Hartford, New York, 5 to 6 inches, even Philadelphia, 5 to 6 inches, and D.C., 4 to 5 inches. So those are the snow totals. They were upgraded from yesterday's snow totals. So if you like snow, this is your snowstorm. A lot of snow dumped quickly and at the perfect time for snow days and states of emergency. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video.